Weiss's new emergency ban list update is quite something, so let's talk about it. First thing I want to go over is Sword Art Online. Finally fixing this so the set is reasonably playable again is great to see. The community since its initial ban announcement really disagreed with it, including myself, so finally getting retribution, although way too late, is good to see. Here is my interpretation of a list with the new updated Alice ban. Overall, it basically plays like Slime but without the tools that make Slime oppressive. You do have all of your important elements for the deck, and your finisher is still a decent lineup. If we magically get Manga Anniversary, this set would potentially be at a pretty decent boost as it appears here and there in Japan still. However, we will just have to wait and see for what happens in the future. Now let's move on to the additions to the ban list. First up, we have Hololive. The addition of the Poké Level 0 to the choice list is kind of unnecessary in my opinion. Hololive is good, don't get me wrong, but with big sets like this, a lot of times this ends up not really stopping the deck from being good or winning consistently. Mirren is a prime example of this. I have personally played Mirren and Hololive since their releases and have gone through numerous ban list updates and still win events with these decks, especially Mirren. I think this is a blow to Hololive, but not enough to cause a severe enough change to the list or anything in the long run. Here's my interpretation of a list with the new choice list update. The list doesn't really change too much overall and will be interesting to see how it evolves over time as well. Next, we have Bang Dream. This one honestly hurt, but was expected. Ensuring the effect partner pairing of stock swap into Fumio is locked to Roselia or delayed stock swap makes this effect hardly existent within the set, especially when you add the Sakiko Changer into the mix. The Oblivionis level 1 combo is by far the strongest level 1 combo in the entirety of Bang Dream, so adding the Changer into the list ensures you can't stock swap, Fumio, or have 8 copies of your level 1 combo in your deck. Overall, this change hurts the Anon top end quite a lot, and most other cores at least a fair amount. Luckily, the Dolores top end really doesn't care about this ban list too much. Sure, it was nice to have a stock swap accessible if needed, but just playing the level 3 lock for that rare scenario you would ever want the stock swap is enough to at least pass. And you never wanted a Fumio anyway, plus the lock is now a character, so you can have an easier time digging and finding it if you need it. Here is my interpretation of the Dolores deck with the new Choice Edition. Overall, the list essentially stays the same with some minor changes that don't really do too much to the core itself. Finally, it is time to move on to the elephant in the room, Overlord. This update is interesting to say the least. Restricting the 1/1 Ainz is fine and all, but allowing Barador to get access to Vampire Brides again is kinda wild. This deck already has so much going for it, and when you give Overlord what is essentially Ancestral Recall for free every turn again, and allowing it to do the same game plan it has always had, definitely means this deck is still going to be strong and won't stop being seen at least for the foreseeable future. Yuri isn't probably your choice out of itself or the Brides within the deck thanks to the 2/1 Jabaloth. Here's my interpretation of the new list, which also features the Overlord Volume 3 stuff. This deck will also be delved more into within my set review once we get closer to that set's release date. Overall, in a way, Overlord didn't really get touched, which caused an uproar from the community. I can understand both sides, but leaving the 1/1 unbanned as a whole I think could continue to cause issues rather than fixing it. I could be wrong with my analysis of the 1/1, but I don't believe that it won't be still a force to be reckoned with within the tournament scene. This ban list release was well unexpected honestly, especially being posted on April Fool's Day as well. I understand some countries do not celebrate that, but when your primary second language is English for your game, and most of the English countries do celebrate it, I think dropping this without warning on this day of all days, especially when some people are spending hundreds of dollars on sets like Bang Dream where Arisa is sitting at nearly $150 a copy and the Mocha's around $50 each for just their min rarities, this definitely can leave a bad taste in people's mouths. A couple years ago, when the Commander Rules Committee released the information of the banning of Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt out of literally nowhere, I lost thousands of dollars that day and never contemplated quitting Magic the Gathering until that day. So I know some people feel the same way with this. Overall, I would say about going about something as sensitive as potentially a ban list, this needs to have a warning. You don't need to specifically state what is getting banned, but even just a throughout the year kind of thing where you post what you're kind of considering and what you're looking into and stuff like that, maybe even receive feedback from the community, could be a way to remedy this issue. At the end of the day, people will still get mad and not everyone will be happy, but at least those people will know to do things at their own risk, especially if the update is announced well prior to releasing. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.